Thank you so much for tuning in today. Welcome to Kingdom Network broadcast. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 a.m. And I'm Abraham John. If you're wondering what's my name, where do I come from? One of these days I will share my story with you. But my heart is overwhelmed. Actually, it is a little bit of hurting because the more I travel around the world in different countries, I see the struggles, I see the pain of believers, Christians, struggling in their life. Doesn't matter where it is, United States, Africa, Asia, majority of the people, majority of the believers, they are either broke or they are on a survival mode. And that is not the way God wants us to live, dear people of God. That is not God's plan. So the reason I'm sharing all this word that I received from the Lord with you to help you to receive everything God has planned for you. So I want to address again the issue of function and purpose, the difference between function and purpose. Most of the time people get confused. One of the main problem we have on this earth is humans don't know their purpose. Christians, they don't know their purpose. And I did a long teaching on purpose, calling, and gifts a few months ago. Hope you remember that or revisit some of those broadcasts to listen. Every human being on this earth has the same purpose. Genesis 1:26 is the purpose statement given to us by our Creator. Nobody is qualified to give us purpose statement than our Creator. Don't believe, don't receive anybody else's idea or explanation or theory of your purpose except the revelation and the truth that has been given to us by our God Almighty, our Creator. So Genesis 1:26 is our purpose statement. God created man to rule and reign on this earth, over this earth. That is our purpose. Then we have different callings, and then we have different gifts. So I ask these people anywhere I go to preach, why God created human beings on this earth? Why God created mankind? The most popular answer is God created man to worship Him. So I checked the Bible, I couldn't find it. And the word worship, I want you to do a little bit of homework for me. The word worship appears almost 700 times in the Bible, both Old and New Testament, 700 times, or a little more than that. About 700, I'm not saying exact. You can check it on a concordance. The word worship, how many times it appears. And what I found out, the most amazing thing, not even one time the word worship is mentioned in connection with singing in the Bible. That really surprised me, shocked me, because I was so committed to singing and to worshiping God, then I finally discovered the truth that the word worship never mentioned in the Bible in connection with singing any songs. It always means something else. I want you to discover for yourself. Do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. Go to the Bible from Genesis to Revelation and study the word worship and what it means. Then you will discover what it actually means in the Bible, your purpose. So our purpose is to dominate this planet Earth, to rule and reign on this earth. That's what we're supposed to do now. That's what we will be doing in the next life when Christ come back to this earth to rule and reign on this earth 1,000 years. You heard that teaching about the millennial reign, that Jesus is going to be reigning. We will be reigning with Christ on this earth for 1,000 years. And that's what God's assignment and plan for man from the very beginning. And God never changed His idea, His mind about us. It's eternal. God's eternal purpose for mankind. When you have a revelation, this is so powerful. Listen to this very carefully. When you have a revelation of God's eternal purpose for mankind and the planet Earth, your life will change for better. I promise you. When you have the revelation of God's eternal purpose, not bits and pieces from here and there, somebody said, this preacher said, that preacher said. No, God's eternal purpose. Eternal means it's forever. Nobody can change it. Nothing is going to change it. Doesn't matter what happens, what blows up, how many nuclear bombs might blow up on this earth. God will not change his mind concerning his purpose for our life and for this planet Earth. That is guaranteed. That is signed by the CEO of heaven. Nobody can change it. So stop belittling and worrying about little things that happens in our life. But when you catch hold of God's eternal purpose, it frees you. Not freeze you like frozen, but freedom. It brings you freedom. That's what happened to me. I was so stuck in worship, singing. Actually, I had to sing to feel God's presence. For almost 25 years, I was in that level of relationship with God. I want you to get this very clearly. I was there. I bought every CDs that came out by any famous worship group. I bought it. When I played it, I felt the presence of God. Then one day something happened to me. I discovered a key to sense the presence of God 24 hours in my life, 24/7. I discovered a key to live in God's presence, not going into his presence and coming out, not visiting God's kingdom, then going back into the world, but to live in his presence forever. There's a key, my dear brothers and sisters. There's a key, my friends, all over the world watching. There's a key to live in God's presence. I shared that before. Like, how did Adam live in God's presence? How did Jesus live in God's presence? Continually, 24/7, not on a Sunday morning, then going out of God's presence and missing or losing God's presence. These people lived God's presence, in God's and with God, 24/7, 365 days a year. And I will share that with you. But you have to keep watching. I have to build the revelation to get you there. If I just give you now, you'll say, whoa, what is that? No, I have to build the foundation first. We have to restore the foundation first. That's what I've been doing for this couple of months, restoring the foundation of our life on this earth. That is the first lie the devil has taught God's people worldwide, telling them that God created man to worship him. I am not anti-worship. As I said, I wanted to study about the word worship in the Bible. I'm not against that. I'm not anti-church. I am all for the church that God intended in the Bible, but not the church that we see in the world today. It has almost nothing to do with what Bible says about church. Maybe that's a shocking statement. If you have any questions, contact me, ask me, message me on the messenger. I will try to reply, or I will send to you the right information where you can find it. So that's the first lie. The second lie the devil has taught believers worldwide is we are pilgrims. We are strangers on this earth. So we should not own anything. We should not have much, anything of natural, because whatever we have, we came with nothing and we are going to go without anything. Have you heard that teaching? I just heard that when I traveled last week. I just asked people, oh, we are just pilgrims. We don't need anything on this earth. If you don't need anything on this earth, why do you go to work 5 days a week? Let me ask you. If you don't need nothing on this earth, you should be living in a cave naked. You are a pilgrim. You are a stranger. Live in a cave somewhere. In the Himalayas, go to India, go to the mountains in Himalayas. You are a pilgrim and a stranger, live in a cave without anything. No. Who was a pilgrim in the Bible? Tell me a person's name. I mentioned about Abraham in the last broadcast. Abraham was a pilgrim and a stranger. Let me tell you something about Abraham. He is the father of our faith. I love Abraham because my name is Abraham. So I studied about Abraham was the first New Testament believer. Galatians chapter 1, it talks about the gospel was preached to Abraham for the first time. He's the one who heard the gospel for the first time. Abraham is the man who had communion for the first time. Abraham was the man who was justified by faith for the first time in the Bible. Abraham was the man who had a revelation of Christ for the first time in the Bible, because Jesus said in John chapter 8, Abraham longed to see one of my days. This is Abraham is saying. And Jesus said he saw it by faith. So Abraham was the first New Testament believer in the Bible. Do you know? He was a billionaire in today's value. And after he died, do you know what he did? In Genesis chapter 25, I was reading this morning. It says in Genesis chapter 25, and Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac his son. All that he had. See, I go around the world, I see ministers, pastors, different ministries. You know the number one problem they all struggle with? They're struggling financially. Their number one problem is financial struggle. Oh my Lord, my God, help me, Father. See, if you study about Father Abraham, I'm not a prosperity gospel preacher. No, I don't preach prosperity. I preach the gospel of the kingdom that Jesus preached and the apostle preached. I don't preach American gospel. I don't preach Indian gospel. I don't preach prosperity gospel. I preach the gospel of the kingdom that was preached by Jesus and the apostles in the Bible. And they didn't lack anything. Jesus didn't lack anything. He didn't have a mansion. He didn't have 2,000 donkeys. But Jesus never lacked anything in his life to fulfill God's purpose. Apostles never lacked anything. Amen? That is kingdom living. Who was another pilgrim? Joseph. Joseph was a pilgrim. Okay. So he was a prime minister of Egypt. God used him to establish the children of Israel in Egypt, in the land of Goshen. He brought his parents, 11 brothers, and established them economically, financially, and every way. God used Joseph. Let's talk about Moses. Who's another pilgrim? Moses. See, this is the last thing I'm going to share with you. You can study about these people in the Bible. Job, who was a pilgrim? Job, he was the richest man. Any person that is mentioned in the Bible who was politically and connected with governments. Joseph, Abraham, Moses, Elijah, Elisha. These people, they had a connection with kings of their time, politics and government. Somebody asked me, is it right for Christians to enter or to be involved in politics? Let me tell you who Jesus is. If you have the revelation of who Jesus is, you will not ask that question. You know who Jesus is? He's a king. Who's a king? He's a political leader. Jesus is a kingdom. Kingdom is a political term. If you really understand who Jesus is, you will not have this kind of questions. Those questions came from the religious spirit who programmed us saying, this earth and everything is here, is not yours. You are just passing by. You are passing by. But on the way, you have to fulfill God's purpose, God's assignment. And to fulfill God's assignment and purpose, sometimes you need land, sometimes you need money, sometimes you need other natural, physical things. And God is not against it. That doesn't mean you have to have 5,000 acres of land. No, that's not what I'm saying. You have to have the kingdom mindset. Kingdom mindset. Not a religious mindset, not a poverty mindset, but a kingdom mindset. How does that happen? When you understand God's eternal purpose, not temporary purpose, God's eternal purpose for man and planet Earth. God bless you. I know I jumped over here and there so many times, but please listen to this broadcast more than once, line by line, to understand the depth and the truth that is contained in it, because it will revolutionize our life. Because God is waiting. Not just God is waiting, all creation is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. Thank you for watching today. And if you have any questions about what you heard, please feel free to send me on the inbox, and I will try to answer. And I bless you today to have the kingdom mindset. I bless your family, your marriage, financially, your body, spirit, and soul is blessed and being prosper in Jesus Christ's holy name. Feel free to share this broadcast with your friends on your timeline. Let them hear it. Let them be challenged by it. Because we need answers. People are tired of what is happening in their life and in the world. They are looking for answers. And God has the answer. His word has the answer. His kingdom has the answer. So please feel free to share this broadcast with your friends. And God bless you. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 a.m., same time, same place. And I will see you on Wednesday morning. God bless you.